The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Friday in the Riv before a holiday weekend. Everybody remember, no show on Monday.
That's right. No show on Monday. And also remember that on Monday here at Bristol Community College, we are having the annual, I think it's the 23rd annual, Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast. And they have a whole bunch of great seminars and that you can attend after the breakfast. They have a keynote speaker. It should be an interesting morning. And if you have a chance to come, I would definitely say come out. BCC is asking for pre-registration, but it is not required. They're just trying to get an idea of how much food to make.
And what's the price?
Nothing. It's free.
See, I wanted you to say that on television. Now they'll come by the droves.
That's it. It's free.
The best price in town.
Yep, it's free.
Yep.
23rd annual free breakfast.
Come one, come all.
Yes.
And
this station will be covering the event, and they will air it throughout the month, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you know you will. It's a good day because they have a lot of information that people don't know. Everybody knows a lot, something about Martin Luther King, but there are a lot of facets and things that he did that people are unaware of. So that's a good thing.
You know, in previous years, they used to offer a one-credit course on Martin Luther King Jr. I don't know if they're going to do that again this year, but they used to offer that one-credit course for free. And people took it, and they appreciated it, and they liked it. Yeah,
it's a sad commentary on our society when we have people in the Democratic Party who have forgotten one of his most famous quotes. He was looking for the day that people are judged on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Mm-hmm. And now we have a federal government that wants to make everything based on labels. And speaking of labels, we did get something about. We were talking about one of our regular viewers chastised us.
Yes, a little bit.
Well, for our loyal viewer, and we know who that is, and they will remain nameless, but just for the record, if you go back and watch the show, we didn't endorse anybody. We haven't endorsed anybody.
And
actually, we spoke pretty highly of Jordan.
Yes.
We said he has, nobody is denying his knowledge of the city and his ability to articulate his positions, but all we said was that if he was going to run for mayor rather than be just to be there as a thorn in the side and not be serious, come up with his own platform too, because rather than just sit at a debate and throw napalm at the other guys, say, okay, throw your napalm, and after I level you, I'm going to say why my plans are better than your plans.
Well, what's interesting is a lot of people did come out and say that adding Jordan to a debate would bring out issues that most candidates don't want to address, which I find very difficult because right now there's a lot of issues out there that the community's talking about, and I'm sure candidates are going to talk about one way or the other.
Yeah, I agree, because today, inflation has caused tremendous. We have the rents, we have the crime, we have the police issue, which has now become a major public issue.
Yes.
People are now informed. I do not see, with all due respect, that everybody can have their opinion. I don't think you can go anywhere on issues that relate to the city that's not going to be covered in a debate, because these things are all at the forefront now. Water bills, tax rates, crime, education, all these things. And, we'll take a bit of credit for that, for continuing to always be the people who bring up the stats and and there are other people going to the council now. This is a very, very difficult time for many people in Fall River, and they're beginning to pay attention. So I don't think so. So that's what, that's fundamentally what I was saying. When you get a situation like that, you don't want to see debates degenerate into personal attacks.
And we've seen that happen.
And we have seen, because we've put on quite a few debates.
Yes, we
have. And
have.
we've seen it degenerate into personal attacks.
And I still think the best debate was Bill Rapley's.
Yeah. and nearly altercations on some of our debates. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Let's engage in serious and very, very spirited, let's say, debate on the issues. I don't want to know that somebody's second cousin, third removed, was a serial killer or something.
Right.
It's got nothing to do with this. Let's look at what they say they're going to do to fix the problems in Fall River, and they are many. And with that, we'll segue into. Before we go into the opera, I got to touch this quickly. I got this downloaded, and before I do, I'm going to hold this up to the camera. See, that's a really nice-looking head. But it's not mine, you see, so it's not ego. It is actually former City Councilor Christopher Peckham, and this article was written on December 24th, 21, and it says, Fall River City Council Public Safety Chairman Chris Peckham issues a statement on road conditions. This was after the snowstorm that they made a debacle out of the roads. And he was chairman of the Public Safety Committee, and he wrote this not just because of complaint about and he apologized for the road conditions and, the mayor's office, blah, blah, blah. But at the end, this is the thing that I brought this article about he never does anything. And even after the fact, there's never been anything to say, well, it's not going to happen again because this is the thing we put in place and this is the procedure. He talks about this mishap happened when by lack of input by the administration at a time when travel is highest. Obviously, it was Christmas Eve that this was posted, so it was the day before. Again, drive safely. The roads are atrocious. We have minimal police available due to road closures. So please, if you have a non-emergency, are waiting for a police officer, understand our police are currently tied up with road closures due to lack of preparedness and leadership from the administration. So fundamentally, if you can't put that in context, what he was saying is the roads were so screwed up, we had to have police diverting traffic, and they were doing that rather than being available for other emergency situations. So again, another example of don't ever address an issue. So I just wanted to get that one in. And now, drum roll, please. The opera. We're going to go over a few little opera things that we've got some bones to pick about this stuff, besides the fact that before we do, CJ, let's make this perfectly clear that everybody can agree or disagree with these things, and we will give our reasons why we disagree with a lot of this stuff overall. But let's call this right out of the gate what it was. This was BS. The procedure that was used to do this, cutting out the people of Fall River and fundamentally the city council, that is not, it doesn't comply with the laws as you have over there. I see you brought yours, mine is buried in here. And I believe Nelson at the city council meeting made it very clear when he read from the law that they're supposed to tell the people what they're doing. We're supposed to be involved, and of course there's court precedents about that. So with that, CJ, let's do this.
Well, I'll tell you now. I've looked over these numbers regularly, and since I got them, by the way, I have 2 sets of numbers. So that's another issue, that's another story that we'll talk about later. But I want to tell you where some of this money went. In 2021, $75,000 went to a holiday parade. In 2022, $50,000 went to a holiday parade. Now, they put that under negative economic impact assistance to households. I don't see that.
Yeah, well, don't you know that a parade pays your gas bill, your electric bill, your rent? Those parades, that I don't know how they can spend that much on these parades, because they you know, I don't think they might spend a little bit more than that for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade in New York City. But I mean, listen, this is a classic example of lack of priorities. With the city and the people in this city suffering the way they are, to earmark this money for a parade, why can't you get local businesses that are always asking for tax breaks to kick in? Well, a lot of these groups volunteer to go into the parade. They want to be seen. So this disturbs me. So go on, please.
Well, let's look at a couple of these things. Here's a recipient. I wonder if you know who this is. Jobs for Fall River.
Of course.
$1,166,560. And what's that for? Small Business Grant Assistance Program.
Yes.
Which is usually funded by the Small Business Administration.
That's right. So, but that's to, and I'd like to see the actual list of who got the grants.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee you, they're all Paul's pals.
Yep.
They're all Paul's pals.
Now,
hey, that's a little bit of alliteration. Paul's pals.
Yep. Here's another one, again, for assistance to households. On-stage productions, tuition assistance, $30,000. CD Recreation, community sailing program equipment, $75,000. Community Development Agency, CDA, who gets a lot of they're all federal funds. They're getting storefront improvement reimbursement program of $300,000. Here's another good one for you. This is aid to impacted industries. One South Coast Foundation, that's the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
$670,000 for what? A strategic tourism plan.
Yeah, here we go.
And remember, the Chamber of Commerce no longer is just for Fall River.
That's right.
They are Fall River and New Bedford. So you've got an issue there. Public sector capacity. Some things that they spent money on. They spent $50,349 on a municipal website project. Government Invest Software, $94,000. Rehire. You know, that's the Friends.
Oh, we know the 68 jobs.
Yep. $2,307,561. Premium pay, which I don't mind giving police officers, firefighters, EMS personnel premium pay. That's $2,036,500. Water and sewer. Now here's what gets me. Under water and sewer, they put the Route 79 project, $7 million, no contract signed. Water main replacement, $13 million in progress. $10 million was committed to be used on projects falling under the revenue replacement. The projects listed below have been voted and approved by the ARPA Advisory Committee.
Okay, we took a pretty good bite here, but I gotta comment on a few of these things. Okay. Number one, job replacement. Those jobs were gone for a year or two.
Yes.
The city was running fine. These are give back jobs to all his pals.
Right.
Then we see the Chamber of Commerce. And remember, the Chamber of Commerce is consistently against increasing the minimum wage for people.
That's right. And remember, the Chamber of Commerce also came out in support of the MBTA.
That's right. Remember, the Chamber of Commerce is paid to lobby, and that's fine for businesses. And the small business does not want minimum wage increases, so there's a lot of things that the average person is for. And the Chamber of Commerce mostly is made up of people and businesses that the owners live out of town. And as you said, it's no longer the Fall River Chamber of Commerce.
That's right.
So we gave that to the entire area for tourism. And as you were having a discussion when I came into the studio about more people get information about tourism when they stop at these rest areas,
the
hotels,
195
and stuff,
rest area,
and you
yeah.
have brochures.
Right.
And again, like I said, I don't care. This is manure that you're gonna get this kind of traction for tourism. And like even if you could be Miami Beach, Miami Beach was, as we said, was a #1 tourism destination, yet the city was in a disaster, crime-ridden. It was awful. Tourism is not going to cure our problem. They just want to give somebody that job. They've been trying to give them that job now for years. This is absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, some of this money is just, you look at it and you go, where is I don't see anything in here that's directly for the people of Fall River.
No. I
I don't see any money earmarked for the people of Fall River. And a lot of this stuff is garbage. I mean, now I'm over at Bristol County ARPA fund, but a fitness court, $164,000.
That was Linda's project.
Yeah, fitness court.
Right.
Yeah, and you know what that fitness, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a fortune teller, but I know the city of Fall River.
Come on, Karnak, you can do it.
Yeah, Karnak. We're #1 in crime. What is this gonna be later on when it's dark, or even during the day? Homeless people, crime, fitness court.
Vandalism,
we got
graffiti.
a million. Oh yeah, and I was just going to get to that. I'm glad. See, your brain is working the same way.
Karnak.
You know why? This will justify the graffiti removal stuff.
That's right.
They're going to be busy removing graffiti. Look what they did to that Christmas thing they had down at.
Yes.
Right? You really? You couldn't figure out $164,000 to give to something that would affect positively the lives of the people in the city of Fall River. Oh, and then the other one I love, almost $1 million for street sweepers. We got.
I think we got two guys that know how to.
Yeah, I think we got 2 licensed drivers, and number one, we don't have the personnel.
Right.
So we don't have enough police. We don't have enough DC. We got plenty of people running around City Hall, though.
Right.
Assistants to the assistants to the assistants who can't do their job. But see, this is the kind of stuff that infuriates me. Now, Jerry Lawton Plaza Rehab Project. Yeah, Jerry Lawton did a lot for the very poor people.
But here's the thing.
But you're going to rehab a plaza that's going to need rehabbing again in 2 years.
But here's the thing. That plaza used to have chessboards, tables, chairs, and Jimmy Karam petitioned the city, not too hard, mind you, to get rid of the tables, to get rid of the chairs, because he didn't want the homeless people to be there.
And, well, again, the elitist class talking about the poor and disgusting. You see, they can be referred to as the rich and the nauseous, but the poor people have to be referred to as the poor and disgusting, because remember, this city, for the most part, is a basket of deplorables, as another elitist once said. So, but I mean, you look at some of this stuff, it's just insane. I mean, okay, crime prevention training program, computers and printers on police cruisers, yeah, all right, you take that out of our budget. But see, here's the question. Even the stuff that's pretty good, CJ, this is where my problem comes in. Okay, you want to give the police officers new computers and printers for their cruisers? Great. $220,000 worth of it? Fine. Where's that $220,000 going to go? Where's Paul putting that money? You know, he's gonna do that so the city doesn't have to spend that money,
Right,
which
it's
is
an
fine.
offset.
It's an offset. And now what is he going to do with the money?
That's right.
Nobody ever knows what he does with the money. But I know one thing he doesn't do with the money, ever do anything to relieve the tax burdens, the fee burden, or help the people, the regular average people with all the labels we say. In other words, the people who are below the average income in the state of Massachusetts, which is virtually everybody, except his friends.
And what's very interesting is when Cliff Ponte ran, he brought up many structural defects, deficits. And he also brought up the fact that the tax bills will be going up and the fees will be going up. And he was right on all of these issues. Now, one of the suppositions that has been made is that he's using the ARPA money to pay for things that should have been paid for in the budget in order to fill the holes in his budget that he can't meet with his budget.
Yeah.
And I believe that.
Oh, no, it's absolutely true. We
Yeah,
know that.
I believe
and,
that.
And like you said, this is crazy. But this is another one that I love. The Watuppa Rowing Center.
Yeah, isn't that great?
The rowing center. Well, I don't know, Paul. You should have had a cricket field built too, so they could play cricket, or maybe some lawn bowling.
But look at what
or
they put
something like
under.
rowing.
Yeah.
How many people do you see? Look, you go up to the Charles River, in between Cambridge and Boston, and you'll see all these college rowing crews and all these elitists who can afford an apartment or a house in the most expensive area, one of the most expensive areas in the country, rowing for their exercise down the Charles River. How many rowers do we have, Paul, in the city? This is a really well thought out use of money. Who do you know that's in the rowing business? That's the first question that comes to my mind, because this is the reality of some of this. You look at some of this stuff and it's like, what? And as you said, a lot of this is to stick money in places that he can take out. Like when he puts things for medical rescue ambulance, that's
Yeah.
something that's going to stay in their fund, because now he doesn't have to take money out of it to pay for an ambulance.
And
does he?
remember, the ambulance comes out of the capital account.
Yeah,
Which is, what type of account is that?
it's the. I can't think of the name. It sets a loan. It pays for itself.
It pays for itself.
Yeah.
That's right. They're self-sufficient.
Yeah,
They're an
so,
enterprise
but we're-
account.
Yeah, enterprise fund.
They're
That's
an
it.
enterprise account.
And who started that? Bob Carrere started the enterprise funds.
Yep.
But you see, this is where you really hit it on the head with your statement. That what happens to this money? Is he filling a hole? Even if there's no hole, he creates a hole that he plugs up with this money, that now he can use his money for his ill-gotten agenda.
Right.
You're going to spend $360,660 for a medical rescue vehicle. Now, if you do that, guess what? If he didn't do that, where would that money come from? The enterprise fund.
That's right.
Now we can worry about air conditioning, and we're even putting in money for that, air conditioning stuff. You know, we can do everything we want, and he gets money. And this is the problem with the shadow kingdom that Paul sits at the throne of. Nobody ever knows what any of this money is used for, and if they say they'll tell you, they're giving you a generalization, like, oh, it's an approximation. Oh, it's 21%, 21 cents, $65 a year, like we talked about that. Really? Really? You won't put the hard number down. And guess what? I keep saying this, and when I file my complaints, I'm going to enclose the law. I have, from the Cornell Law School,
Not that they're reputable.
not that they're reputable. I have 2 cases which clearly state that it is a legal obligation of the city as a fiduciary of the people to not only give them accurate numbers, not well, you know, this is a ballpark, this is only for discussion, but to give them accurate numbers and go the extra mile. That's not the legal terminology in that thing, but basically, I think they say look with a critical eye at these numbers. So look at them and have them exact, because it's the people's money. How this mindless city council that we have, who should, for the most part, all be gone in the next election.
Well, remember,
How
this city
but how
council-
can they? Listen, let me. But how can they allow people? And some of them have entire departments to help them. You know, entire departments and assistants, all kinds of money, and it's their professionals. And you know what they say? Oh, this is an approximation. These numbers are only for discussion. They're lying their butts off. Do you think when I hired Ernst & Young, when we sued the city, when they said their accountants said they had no money, that we had no money in our account, and we found that they stole like $2 million of ours? And I did that with a hand calculator, but then I got to the point, I said, okay, I know this is wrong, because this is the money we paid for health care. This is what the bills were. And for 5 years, we've paid in more than the bills that were coming in. So what did I do? I went out and got a professional firm, Ernst & Young, one of the best accounting firms in the United States. You know, when we got this guy, and I'll never forget his name, Jerry McGovern, was a senior accountant for Ernst & Young, came in and he said, yeah, this is the worst accounting system I've ever seen. And I just got done with $1 trillion audit in the state of Tennessee. But you know, when he got done, I had exact numbers to the penny of everything. The interest they owed us, everything. He didn't tell me, well, you know, you're paying me $500 an hour to do this, but I'm gonna give you an approximation. No, the people of this city deserve accurate numbers by the people we're paying to give us accurate numbers. Okay, that's my tirade because it aggravates me. So.
Well, I'm looking at some of this stuff and I'm getting very aggravated.
Yeah, as I do every time I look at this stuff.
Now, revenue replacement. I want you to take a quick guess and tell me which of these is actual revenue replacement. Capital improvements, police cars. Retro pay. Crime prevention, police cars. RCC, Patriot Property Software. Influenza vaccines. Near map software purchase, and electric vehicles. How are those revenue replacement? I'll say retro pay may be revenue replacement.
Yeah, but it's not.
And I'll say that the software on both of them, from the assessment department and the engineering department, may be revenue replacement, but the others aren't.
Well,
and a lot of these items in these department areas aren't what they're supposed to be.
I'm sorry, CJ, but I have to disagree because every one of those items are normal cost of business.
That's right.
And you're supposed to budget for those things.
That's right.
So that's not that. Replace what? Influenza vaccines?
$8,000.
Okay, like.
That's pocket change to the city.
Yeah. Were we giving out influenza vaccines for free? Okay. But that's part of the business. If it was part of a city program, you're supposed to budget for it.
They don't give them away for free. They charge you.
They charge you. So, okay, they probably made more money. But look, every one of those things is a cost of doing business. Yeah. Your police officers need new software? Okay. Now, you got a government grant for this? No. You know, go find a government grant for police departments to pay for this. Use this damn money, Paul, for the people of Fall River, and you didn't spend a dime on them. And the council actually took money away that was proposed to help the people of Fall River.
Right. And, you know, the worst part about it is he says that all of this has been voted and approved by an advisory committee. An advisory committee which is useless. They have no legal authority. None. Yeah. No legal authority at all. Only the city council is supposed to have that authority, and the mayor robbed it from the city council.
And by the way, who created that committee?
Paul.
Oh, okay. I just wanted that on the record. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Now, here's where we're talking about. The city received $69,599,142. The city has committed, including revenue replacement, $46 million. $599,910, with funds available not including revenue replacement of $32,999,232. Funds available including revenue replacement, $44,732,961. We're missing something in this picture.
Yeah, I gotta get one more. I gotta ask you this one. $25,000 for hydrangea planting.
Yeah, that's Sandy and David Dennis.
Not like the DCM doesn't do maintenance and the stuff along streets. $25,000 for that's your elitist taking care of you, people of Fall River.
It's amazing, isn't it?
You have a great long weekend.
Yep. Remember, people, Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast here at PCC. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. Have a great long weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday.